Okay, I want you to picture a scenario. It's a Tuesday evening.
It's always a Tuesday, isn't it?
It always is. And you aren't doing anything particularly heroic, and you're not in the middle of a disaster. You're just maybe clearing the plates after dinner.
Or answering that one last email you know you shouldn't be.
Right. And suddenly, in the middle of this totally mundane moment, you just hit a wall.
Yeah.
But it's not a loud crash. It's silent. It's this quiet realization that there is absolutely no empty space left.
Not just in your schedule, but in your head. It's the feeling that every single hour already belongs to something else. Like your time has been pre-spent.
Exactly. And that is where we are starting today. We're doing a deep dive into this truly beautiful, maybe slightly haunting essay. It's called Escape by the writer and philosopher Pedro Malha.
It's one of those essays that definitely hits a nerve.
It really does. I have to be honest. When I first read it, I felt a little bit exposed, like he had somehow bugged my kitchen.
I get that. I think it's because he's not writing about some big acute trauma. He's writing about the slow, creeping accumulation of just responsibility. He's diagnosing that specific feeling where life stops feeling like living and starts feeling like arithmetic.
Life as arithmetic. That phrase it really stuck with me. But okay, let me play devil's advocate for a second here.
Mhm.
Isn't that just adulthood? I mean, we have responsibilities. We have to keep the lights on.
Yeah.
Why is viewing life that way necessarily a trap?
Well, and that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Malha argues that the trap isn't the responsibility itself.
Okay.
It's what happens to your internal world when your whole existence becomes this equation to be balanced. When life becomes arithmetic, you stop experiencing it and you start just solving it.
You're just constantly calculating.
Constantly calculating. If I get 6 hours of sleep, I can do X. If I eat this now, I'll have energy for Y. You become a logistics manager for your own existence.
The mechanic keeping the engine running, but
Yeah.
you're never actually driving the car.
Precisely. And that's the maintenance mode he talks about. Malha writes that the crisis comes really quietly.
It's in those tasks, right? Answering emails, packing bags, clearing plates.
Right.
The crisis isn't that you can't do them. You are doing them. You're functioning perfectly. On the outside, you probably look like a productivity machine.
Yeah, exactly. But the crisis is the realization that, as he puts it, your inner life has been living in the margins. There's just no spaciousness left. You're showing up, but you're not really inside your own life anymore.
And that feeling of being hollowed out, he talks about the physical toll of that too.
Oh,
It's not just mental. He says it sits in the body as a tiredness that does not lift and shoulders that never quite drop. I think everyone listening can probably feel their shoulders right now and realize they're about 2 inches closer to their ears than they should be.
It's chronic bracing. And Malha connects this physical tension to a quiet, nagging question that starts to follow you around. It's not some big dramatic thing. It's almost a practical, frightening question. Is this it? Is this how my remaining energy is going to be used?
Oof. That remaining energy part, that implies the tank isn't bottomless, you know? It's the realization of mortality, but viewed through a spreadsheet.
It is. And this leads to what I think is the emotional anchor of this first part of the essay, what he calls the thickening of responsibility.
The thickening.
He talks about feeling older, not in a scary way, just a factual way. You realize time has a shape and a weight now. And he uses this incredible imagery of small hands and big hands.
Yeah, that part really got me. There are small hands and big hands now.
He's talking about dependence, maybe children, maybe aging parents, people who need you. He says your absence would leave a shape in someone else's day. Just think about the weight of that.
You're not just living for yourself anymore. You're holding continuity for other people. That word continuity, it's so heavy. You're the load-bearing wall.
You're the load-bearing wall, and if you crumble, the roof comes down on everyone else. And being that wall is exhausting. It doesn't allow for movement. And so when you feel that immobility, that thickening of life around you, your brain naturally offers you a solution, a very specific, very seductive solution.
On the fantasy of escape.
Right.
Okay, I have to confess something here, and I know I'm not alone in this. I have a folder on my browser, bookmarks. It's full of real estate listings for places I have absolutely no business buying. I'm talking about a sheep farm in Scotland, a lighthouse in Maine.
I love it.
And I don't even like sheep. They're loud and they smell. But at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday, when I'm exhausted, that sheep farm looks like salvation.
We have all been there. It's the Zillow fantasy. It's the modern version of the gone fishing sign.
Exactly. What if we left? Malha calls it a thought that feels almost reasonable. And I love that he clarifies this. It's not some dramatic, I'm faking my own death scenario.
No.
It's practical. What if we sold the house? What if we moved somewhere warmer, somewhere slower?
But here's the fascinating thing Malha points out about why we do this. When you are looking at those sheep farms, what are you actually imagining? Are you imagining the thrill of shearing wool?
No, definitely not. I'm imagining silence. I'm imagining coffee on a porch where no one is asking me for anything.
Exactly. You aren't chasing pleasure or hedonism. You're chasing relief. Malha writes, you are trying to imagine a version of life where you are not constantly bracing.
You just want your nervous system to unclench.
You just want to unclench, to picture time stretching out. He describes imagining light through unfamiliar windows. That image is so specific.
It really is. It's this idea that if the light hit the floor differently, maybe I would be different. If we change the set design, the plot of the movie has to change, right?
That is the hope. We think where we are is the same as how we feel. And here's where the essay takes a turn that I found really necessary. Because usually people just say, oh, it's a fantasy, get back to work. But Malha validates it.
Oh.
He says that when people actually do this, when they sell the house and move, it actually works.
Wait, it works. I thought you were going to tell me it's a trap.
Well, hold on. He says it works at first. He calls it the geographic cure. The first few weeks feel lighter.
Okay.
The air is different. Your shoulders drop without you telling them to. You notice birds. You notice colors.
See? So the sheep farm is the answer. My Zillow bookmarks are totally valid.
For a month, maybe?
Okay.
But then comes the twist. And this is the part of the essay that felt like a gentle punch to the gut for me.
Okay.
After the novelty softens, and it always softens, something becomes visible. Malha writes, you still wake inside the same body.
The baggage claim of the soul.
In a way, yes.
Yeah.
Because what did you bring with you to the sheep farm? You brought your history, you brought your patterns of how you manage stress, you brought your relationship dynamics.
Right. If you have kids, they still need you. If you have money, it still needs managing.
And I know what you're thinking. I've taken vacations where I definitely felt fixed, I've come back a new person.
For about a week, yeah.
Right. But there's a huge difference between a vacation, which is a pause in the system, and moving your life, which is building a new system. Malha points out that the things that grind you down aren't usually the traffic or the weather.
It's the internal machinery.
It is. He has this line, geography can soften certain weights, but wherever you go, you arrive too.
Wherever you go, you arrive too. That is the kicker, isn't it? You can change the weather, but you can't run away from your own tendency to overfunction or to worry about the future.
And the pressure just rearranges itself. That's the phrase he uses. What was urgency in your old, busy city life becomes uncertainty in your new, slow life.
You still have to build a life.
You still have to build a life. You have to navigate new schools, new doctors, new social circles. Exhaustion just changes its flavor. It becomes the work of rebuilding. You're no longer bracing against traffic, but now you're bracing against the isolation.
You're still the one holding the continuity. The move changes the structure of your days, but it doesn't automatically create inner space.
Right. You still measure your worth by what you get done. You still feel that background hum of consequence.
Okay, so this is the point in the deep dive where I start to feel a little bit trapped. Because on one hand, staying in the arithmetic life is draining me dry. But on the other hand, you're saying, Malha's point is that running away doesn't fix it either because I take my own brain with me. So, what now? Are we just doomed to be tired until we die?
It does feel like a dead end, doesn't it? But this is exactly where Malha pivots. He breaks that binary of stay and suffer or leave and be happy. He suggests the real question isn't where to live,
but how to live inside the hours you already have.
Exactly. He moves from the idea of escape to the idea of return.
Redefining relief as a return.
Yes. And he's really careful to define what this means. It's not returning to some idealized past version of yourself when you were 20 with no responsibility.
Right.
It's returning to the life you are actually in right now.
Okay, let's unpack that. Because returning to the life I'm in sounds a little bit like a motivational poster telling me to bloom where I'm planted. And frankly, when I'm overwhelmed, that kind of advice just makes me want to scream.
I totally get that. But it's different because it's not about pretending everything is great. It's about creating space. He says what we were missing in the first place wasn't better scenery. It was space where your inner life is not constantly postponed.
Okay, so how do you create that space when the emails are still piling up? I mean, practically speaking.
It requires a brutal kind of honesty. Mala says relief begins when you stop pretending you have endless energy. You have to allow for what he calls smaller days.
Smaller days. I like the sound of that, but what does that actually look like?
It means leaving things unfinished. And not just accidentally, like intentionally. It means saying no without giving a 20-minute explanation or apology. It means just admitting you have limits.
He writes, relief does not mean removing responsibility. It means no longer carrying it silently.
That felt like permission to me.
It's okay to admit that the load is heavy, even while you're carrying it.
Exactly. And it's about stopping the performance of invincibility. It's acknowledging that, you know what, some emails will stay unanswered, some conversations will remain unresolved, the house might be messy, and you stay in that discomfort. You stay inside your life, even when it's incomplete.
So instead of trying to solve the life so you can finally relax, you relax into the unsolved life.
You got it. Which brings us to his concept of contact. He says relief lives in ordinary moments, not as calm, because let's be honest, life with kids or a career is rarely calm.
Not calm, though.
But as contact.
Okay, stop there. Contact sounds a little bit like mindfulness buzzwords. Is this just another way of telling me to meditate while I do the dishes? Because I'm not sure my brain can handle that.
I get the skepticism, I really do. But I think he's getting at something grittier than just zen. We often mistake peace for the absence of noise. But Mala suggests peace is actually contact with reality. Think about that maintenance mode we started with. When you're in that mode, you are mentally fast-forwarding. You're washing the dishes, but your brain is already on the email you need to send or the meeting tomorrow. You aren't there.
You're just skimming across the surface of your own time.
Right. Contact is hitting play and actually watching the scene. He lists these very specific sensory examples, like hearing a child laugh in another room and actually hearing it, not just registering it as background noise.
Watching light move across a wall, eating slowly once a day.
Yeah, and there was one line, feeling overwhelmed and still choosing kindness.
That would hit me. Because that doesn't mean the overwhelm is gone. It means you are present enough to make a choice within it.
Exactly. None of these things change the structure of your life. The deadline is still there. The sink is still full of dishes. But it changes how you inhabit the life. You aren't just trying to get to the end of the day anymore. You are actually there for the day.
It's the difference between trying to get the commute over with and actually feeling your hands on the steering wheel.
Perfect analogy. When you're in maintenance mode, you are treating the present moment as an obstacle to get past. Malha is asking, what if the present moment, even the messy, tired one, is actually the destination?
The essay ends with this incredibly vivid scene that I think we should walk through to really land this. It's evening.
It's evening. Nothing remarkable is happening. There are dishes in the sink. A bag is half unpacked.
From a trip, maybe from work, yeah.
Someone is brushing their teeth nearby. It's messy. It's incomplete.
And Mala writes, nothing has been solved.
Nothing has been solved. Work still needs doing. Your body is still tired. But in that moment, you sit down, you feel the chair under you, you hear breathing that isn't yours, and something softens.
You are here, not as a role, not as a problem to manage, as a person inside their own life.
That is the crux of it. He says quietly that this moment, this ordinary, messy, unfinished Tuesday night, is what you were actually searching for when you were dreaming of the sheep farm.
You weren't looking for a different country.
You were looking for a moment where you are allowed to just arrive. To arrive in your own life, to stop waiting for it to get better before you inhabit it.
To stop postponing yourself.
Yes. He says relief lives in return. Return to your body. Return to the hours you already have. Return to the parts of yourself that were never meant to be postponed.
It's almost paradoxically simple. The solution to the feeling that you need to escape is to actually go deeper in.
To stop trying to get out of your life and actually get in it. Orientation, not a destination. That's what he calls it. You don't need a map to a new place. You need to reorient yourself to where you already are.
It's a challenge, though. It's much harder to sit with the unfinished dishes and feel okay than it is to browse real estate in Italy.
Oh, absolutely.
One feels active, like I'm fixing something. The other feels vulnerable.
It's so vulnerable. Browsing real estate feels like solving a problem.
Yeah.
Sitting with your own tiredness, admitting that you can't do it all, that takes immense courage. It takes a willingness to let the arithmetic of life just not add up for a minute.
And to be okay with the remainder.
And be okay with the remainder. We spend so much time trying to make the math work. If I just wake up an hour earlier, if I just optimize this workflow. But Mala is saying the math will never perfectly work.
And relief is found in making peace with that. It's found in saying, I am here, the dishes are dirty, I am tired, and that is okay. I am not failing. I am living.
Yeah. It really reframes the whole concept of burnout. It's not just a battery that needs recharging. It's a relationship with time and self that needs healing. And that healing is available right now.
Not in 6 months when you finally take that vacation. Not in 5 years when the kids are older.
Now, in the middle of the mess.
The solution is not somewhere else. It is already here, inside ordinary moments, waiting to be inhabited. That's a beautiful place to land.
It is. It's an invitation to stop running, even if you're only running in your head.
So, we usually end these deep dives with a summary, but today I want to try something a little different. I want to leave you with a challenge, a difficult one.
Let's hear it.
Tonight, or whenever you next hit that moment where the silence gets loud and you feel the urge to escape, don't pick up your phone. Don't open Zillow. Don't scroll Instagram to numb it out.
Just sit there.
Just sit there for 5 minutes. Look at the mess. Feel how tired your legs are. Listen to the hum of the refrigerator and see if you can just be there without trying to fix it or flee from it.
This is the hardest thing to do, but it might just be the moment you finally come home to yourself.
Thanks for diving deep with us today.
Take care.